welcome back to Chaos Head NoaH. Last time, Takumi finally ran into somebody who started to explain all this shit. And yeah, the big connection to Steins Gate, or rather, preview of Steins Gate, in the case of a release order, is that Mikise Kurisu's paper about projecting things into people's minds is what started it all. Jump-started the entire freaking science adventure universe. And that here it seems focused on basically mind control, which is what makes sense. Like she was talking about him possibly controlling people's minds, and that probably has to do with the whole god thing. But I wonder who else probably has this ability to control people's minds. But even if the story is about mind control, and it seems like that's very possible, what is all the magical girl shit and flying around, like, and the swords? How does that parse with everything else? So I don't think it's gonna be just that, because like that definitely seems to fit with the whole delusion aspect. But then how does like the magical girl aspect fit in with this? Anyway, hello Void, hello Zarmegas, welcome to the stream. Let's go dive into the Chaos Head. Oh no, not quick load. It sucks. Yeah, we're back with her. She looks very grown up. And to have a flat screen monitor in 2007. I think those were just starting to become more commonplace then. The only sound present in the room was the distinct clacking of a keyboard. Kusunoki Yua's thin, supple fingers moved as if the word supple is too funny. As if they were dancing, her gaze fixed on the monitor all the while. Her touch typing was effortless, something I can never do. I never learned how to do touch typing. And she made next to no typos. Hey Olga, welcome to the stream. She was writing an email. A very long one at that. Yua had already been writing for almost half an hour, endlessly deliberating on the contents of the email and making frequent revisions as she continued to type. Suddenly, her fingers stopped moving. With a small pained sigh, she abruptly pressed and held down the backspace key. Oop! Start all over. The cursor that was lit up on the monitor began scrolling leftward at high speed. All the long sentences she had written so far disappeared near instantaneously as the cursor traveled across the screen. Curved screen monitors, what the fuck? Is that like an actual thing, Void Dweller? Avril Lavigne poster! Really? I thought and yeah, that's right. Her name in this universe is Angara Livre. Oh man, I love how this game is like a time capsule. Mid 2000s were a really great time, you know, with full nostalgia goggles on, like for the world. When all the contents have been erased, like the 2000s in general, that decade, except for the beginning of it. Really, curved monitors are common? I've only seen like maybe like I think one or two in like a computer store. When all the contents had been erased, Yua took hold of the Gero Froggy stuffed animal lying on her bed and hugged it tightly to her chest. This was a habit that Yua had developed recently. She did not hug something in this way, she'd be faced with unbearable anxiety. Oh my god! She has mental health issues as well. Burying her chin in the stuffed animal, Yua sighed once again and shook her head softly.
私に勇気をください。
Please, give me the courage to do this. Murmuring softly to no one in particular, Yua's expression stiffened. With the stuffed animal resting on her lap, she returned her hands to the keyboard. Within the monitor, each letter she typed in a fluid manner was quickly displayed in sequence. Compared to the one she had erased just moments before, this email was far more short and simple, and it only served to provide the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities of what she needed to convey. When she finished writing, Yua hesitated for a moment, and then she resolutely clicked on the send icon. I sent it. Well, I haven't gone in a while, Void, so I guess before she could stop it from going through, the email had already been sent in the blink of an eye. I wonder who she sent to. Yua squeezed the Garo froggy sitting on her lap tightly and continued to stare at the monitor in front of her for over an hour. Although she had not been expecting one, there was no sign of a reply at all. Hello, Shumia Beatrice. I will definitely play Chaos Child eventually. After this, it could be after this, because after Ruina, I'm going to go to the next Trails game, so Chaos Child could very well be after this, depending on how I feel, yeah. There I was, in my beloved room 37. Unless I should play Robotics Notes after this. Like, I do want to go in order. So, it's either going to be Chaos Child or Robotics Notes. As I sat down into the recliner, I started chewing on my nails in an attempt to distract myself from my irritation. There's a reason why I come to At Cafe 2 days in a row, yesterday and today. 2 nights ago, after Grim, Shiho, and I had found out what Senna had said was true, I received an email from Yua. Really? So Yua was sending it to him. That's true, Void, but Ruina is very likely going to end first. Okay, you'd recommend going Chaos Child next? Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I'll do Chaos Child next. In it, she'd instantly said that she wanted to talk to me one more time. Fuck off, I'd wanted to tell her. What the hell did she mean she wanted to talk? After deceiving me like that, I had nothing to say to her. Even if I did, she'd probably come up with some new fancy way to trap me when I went to see her. As if I could risk that. It was true that I wasn't used to talking to girls. That was why I'd been so happy back when Yua was hitting on me. And yet, the harlot had been toying with me behind my back. And on top of that, she'd come up with all those insane delusions. Even I had delusions, sure, but I never bothered anyone else with them. But that girl assaulted me with her schizo BS, treating me like I was the new June culprit. I could never forget what she'd done to me. Never. So I ignored her. I'd ignore her email. But there had still been one thing that concerned me. Keep in mind, Voidfella, that that's with grinding on. Really? Robotics Notes as 3D models? I did not know that. Oh god, VLR graphics. Ah, jeez. I never even realized that. Every picture of Robotics Notes I've seen, I thought it had 2D. In her email, she said she was going to come to my base and I knew for a fact that she knew my address. That was why I decided to take refuge in that cafe, despite it not being a school day. If I had the option, I would have brought my DI sword as a protection charm, but unlike Senna, I didn't have the courage to walk down Center Guy with it. At any rate, spending almost half a day in an internet cafe was fairly tiring. The recliners were comfortable and it was equipped with showers. I still couldn't fully relax like I could at my base. And then the biggest problem at all, Seirotan wasn't here. That's true, he doesn't have his figures with him. After 2 days spent holed up in that cafe, I realized just how much the mere presence of Seirotan helped me. I wanted to hurry up and get back to my base as soon as possible. But going back late at night would mean the date would change. And by that time, the last train would already be gone. I figured that Yua most likely wouldn't be waiting for me anymore by then. He's gonna risk walking late at night after what happened? Are you serious, man? After what happened the very first day? You're gonna risk walking around late at night? Because this figure's a very fragile void dweller. I had to stick around for another 4 hours before the clock would strike midnight. I'd try to get some sleep. I was sure time would go by faster if I played ESO. I moved my gaze over to the PC monitor. My second character, Lieselot, was standing there aimlessly, not moving. Is the scenery your eyes perceive truly real? Senna's words came to mind. More than half of what she said was true. The only thing I couldn't find a source for was the part where she was talking about controlling even people's wills and bodies. Maybe that part was just a delusion of hers. Mixing in just a few lies with the truth was a clever and effective way to scare people, especially with threats. So accurate, like this Dell computer right here. I think I had a computer just like this back in the day, or at least I definitely think that they've been in schools and stuff like that, in colleges, computers that looked exactly like this. Even though my reasonable side knew all that, I couldn't help but feel scared as I thought about all the strange and inexplicable phenomena that had been plaguing me over the past few weeks. In a daze, I looked at Lieselot on the screen. Lieselot, is the scenery your eyes perceive truly real? Keeping my voice low to avoid being overheard, I whispered that absent-mindedly. I thought about something like this several times in the past. Like, is any of this real or not? The world that I was looking at right now, Bosselard, was the world that Lieselot lived in. It might have been real for her, but from my perspective it was fake. Which meant that the world I lived in was seen as fake from the point of view of the person controlling me. Ah, you're getting all meta on me! However, just as Lieselot couldn't perceive me as a higher being, I also couldn't perceive the person controlling me as a higher being. Sorry. And I'm not really controlling you. I'm just kind of following the story. I only can make decisions at key points. I wondered if Lieselot was thinking the same things that I was thinking. At the very least, she couldn't move on her own. I had to interfere in order for her to move. So what about me? Maybe I too couldn't get up from this recliner without the interference of the person controlling me. To test this, I tried to stand up. I did it with ease. After that, I tried sitting down. Took no effort. But this sequence of events, was it really of my own volition? Or was it the result of someone's interference? I had no way of knowing. Huh? Uh-oh. Oh no. I heard the sound of the partition door to the private room being opened behind me. At the same time, I felt someone come in. Startled, I turned around. Oh god! Jeez. Fucking jump scare. God damn it. Kusunoki Yua! I was so terrified I was about to scream. Wow, oh yeah, deadly serious, hot looking Yua right there, jeez. Yua's hand quickly covered my mouth. Her hand was hot and the scent of Yua's sweat and infiltrated my nose. Be quiet. Don't make a sound. Promise not to make a sound. Will you promise me? You better not say otherwise. Promise me. You're not exactly endearing yourself to me. Oh god, she's doing her freaking thing. God damn it. You'll do it, won't you? You're ruining the tension, Yua. Do it. Please. In this small private room, the only way out was blocked by Yua. You know what? No delusion. I want to hear what she has to say. I really want to hear what she has to say. Next thing I knew, my shoulders were being held down with such incredible force. I couldn't even get up from the seat. It was kind of hot. Yua's cold gaze pierced through me at point-blank range. Damn it! I wanna make a quick save. I want to see what happens. I really want to see what happens. I just want to quickly see what the delusion is. And then I'll load it back up. Okay. I couldn't help but look away and my eyes fell on the 3 Garo froggies stuck to the bag she was carrying on her shoulder. Alright. Don't make a sound. If I didn't do as she said, Yua would kill me. Believing that would happen, I didn't resist and just nodded along. Delusion drive! There was something I had to tell you, no matter what it took. I like you. I really like you. Do you understand? I love you. Damn it. Damn it, you are. Why do you have to be like a broken record sometimes like this? You need to understand. I want you to be mine. Please. I thought I thought that confession was supposed to be romantic, heart-rending, and happy. But this is just like one of my Japanese animes. This wasn't like that. This was terrifying. Every word sent chills down my spine. In a situation like this, I'd normally confess my love as well, but here I felt like I'd be signing my own death sentence if I did. I had no choice but to be clear and refuse. This girl was nothing more than a stalker. If I didn't refuse here and now, I'd be totally fucked. I forcefully shook off Yoa's hand. Oh, this didn't go like I thought it did. Hello, Conway. Welcome to the stream. I refuse. I'm gonna hand you over to the police. Huh. Oh, she's sad. Yua's expression became tense as if in shock. She hung her head and her demeanor instantly turned timid. To think that you hated me that much. I'm sorry. I'll stay away from you from now on. No! Goodbye, Nishijo-kun. She pulled herself away and turned her back to me. Her shoulders drooped. And then she shakily walked out of the private room. I'd said it. I'd said it. Seeing Yua crying like that actually made me feel relieved. I couldn't help but be happy that I'd finally been freed of that stalker, so much that I constantly struck a victory pose. Only to suddenly come back to myself. Since life was never that easy, Yua was right in front of me, covering my mouth. Okay, now let's go back to the load. I thought it was going to be a funny scene. Quick load. All right. Don't make a sound. What do I do? What should I do? I tried desperately to think of a way out of the situation, but it was no use. I couldn't think clearly. She had taken me completely by surprise. My mind had gone completely blank. I went to your house yesterday, but you weren't there. Even so, I waited there until late at night. That's kind of stalkery. But I understand how you feel. Why you were trying to avoid me. I really do. Hello, Nagitona. Welcome to the stream. I deceived you, Nishijo-kun. If you acknowledge that, then just stay away from me. I have nothing to say to any of Shogun's underlings. Anyone who traps a weak person like me is a demon. I figured you'd be into this. You will look down once. And again, you know, I suppose that me and Takumi have very different tastes, so it makes sense. You will look down once. She looked like she was hesitating to say something. But then after a moment, she very clearly said a single phrase. Oh no! Why are you saying that? Whose eyes are those eyes? You know it, don't you? You can't pretend otherwise. Oh. Okay. It was the dying message from the vampire case.
ネットで公表されたことで渋谷で大流行中の言葉。
It's been all over the internet, and it's a phrase that's incredibly popular throughout Shibuya.
でも私
But
流行る前から
uh-oh.
知ってました。
Really? Do you have the same powers? Even before it was popular, I knew about it.
ヴァンパイアより前にこの言葉を使っている人がいたから。
There was a person using that phrase even before the vampire.
将軍
Shogun. Oh god, you better explain quickly. He's gonna think you're working for him. She also knows Shogun.
前に見せましたよね。
Oh yeah, that's right. From the thing that she showed. From the readout. That's right. That's right. I showed it to you before, didn't I?
ナイトハル
The chat
ト
log
西条君と将軍のチャットログ。
between Nightheart and Shogun. Hello, Saya. Welcome to the stream.
そこで将軍が書き込んでました。
That was where Shogun had written it.
その目誰の
Whose eyes are those eyes?
目そして
Which means Yua inched her face closer and closer to mine. Her tone of voice was calm, but the eyes shining behind her glasses were ice cold. She was staring at me. I looked away.
将軍はあなた。
Shogun is you. How is that? It's gotta be some kind of alternate personality inside him.
つまり
In other words, what? You are?
お願いです西条君。もう
Please, Nishijo-kun. Please. That was when I noticed Yua's hands were trembling. Or was it just that my hands were shaking so much it made hers look like it was too? When I pondered that, something unbelievable came out of her mouth.
人を殺すのやめてください。
Don't kill anyone anymore. She really thinks he's the murderer. What?
自覚がないんですね。
You've got to prove with logic that you couldn't have been in those places. You aren't even aware of it, are you?
でもそれも私には理解できます。
But I understand that too.
西条君に自覚があるはずないから。
After all, you have no way of knowing, Nishijo-kun. Knowing? Knowing what?
あなたは
You. Yua's eyes shone with sorrow. Even though she had been staring at me intently until now, she suddenly cast her eyes downward.
DID 多重人格なんです。
Have DID. Multiple personalities. I think we do know that's true based on some scenes we saw. Like we saw him without the narration get up in the middle of the night and post all those creepy messages. I had multiple personalities.
最初はあなたのこと警察に突き出すつもりでした。
At first, I fully intended on turning you over to the police. Despite how confused I was, you would continue to talk.
それが無理ならこの手でとも思ってました。
And if I couldn't do that, I thought I'd try this method instead.
だけどあなたのこと調べていくうちに
when I investigated you.
あなたも苦しんでるんだって分かって。
Can you tell us your story, Yua? Like, what's up with you? Like, why are you are you like secretly a detective? Like, what's going on, Yua? Who are you really? I found that you were suffering just as much as I was. The eyes behind Yua's glasses once again took hold of me. They pleaded with me. And no matter how hard I tried to see it as something else, I couldn't see her as anything other than genuinely worried about me. And that horrified me.
私、あなたを助けたい。
I want to help you. The girl's delusions were getting out of control. What was she saying that was totally insane? Or was it? Was it really insane?
だから、病院に行きましょう。
So, let's go to the hospital. We'll do it together. I didn't truly know myself, understand myself. I had posted in a chat under the handle Shogun without knowing it. Even though I had no memory of it, I had become friends with a girl named Rimi. It wasn't just me sleepwalking, and it wasn't some higher being controlling me. Maybe the person controlling me, for instance, my head, literally was inside my head. I wasn't me. I wasn't me. I was a different personality. I had multiple personalities. My head hurt. A throbbing, stabbing pain ripped through it. That was impossible. The entire thing was bullshit! Who would ever believe that? It, too, was yet another one of Yua's delusions. She was my enemy. Oh no! No! She was impeding my way through life. She was trying to trap me. She was trying to destroy my mind. Even the hospital itself was under Shogun's reign. The only person I trusted, Dr. Takashima, had disappeared in such a sudden, inexplicable manner. Shogun must have made him disappear, and if I did what Yua said, he'd make me disappear too. I don't believe her. It's not true. Is he gonna have like a big mind showdown with Shogun later? It's not true, 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 it's not true. I was stuck in my own head. I shoved you off me with every ounce of strength I could muster. Slamming into the wooden sliding door behind her, Yua slammed down to the floor with a grimace. Finally freed from Yua's grasp, I grabbed my bag, stepped over Yua's body, and made for the exit. Wait! Still crumpled on the floor, Yua grabbed my ankle. Her hair was disheveled, and her glasses were falling off her face, but she made no effort to fix them. Seeing her clinging so desperately to me terrified me so much. A pathetic scream escaped from my mouth. She was my enemy, one of Shogun's underlings. Didn't you hear what she just said? How could she be Shogun's underling? I won't be deceived. I won't be deceived by you ever again. Don't touch me! I shouted as loud as I could, and Yua quickly let go of me. In that window, I bolted out of the room. I tore a 5,000 yen bill from my wallet and slammed it down on the counter in front of the dumbfounded receptionist. And then, without getting my change, I burst out the elevator leading outside. I nearly tumbled out of the elevator as I burst outside. The sun was already setting. I examined my surroundings. There were people everywhere. Run. It doesn't matter where, just run. My base wasn't safe. She was following me. I had no idea where to even go, but I started running away. Anyway. Thinking that Yua might get off in another elevator any moment now. That she might threaten me again in the ice-cold voice of hers. I didn't want to stay there for even a second longer. I looked behind me over and over and over again. I kept on running regardless of what I saw. Pedestrians were all in the way. I bumped into a businessman and a DQNS high school girl. When that happened, I was showered with curses. But I still didn't stop. I just kept on running. It hurt to breathe. I picked some random ass road without thinking, and I still had no idea where I was running. I stopped to catch my breath. I checked the scenery around where I was standing. It was in front of Maruichi, which meant I could take shelter in Miyashita Park. I took a quick break there, then I'd run somewhere further away. If I went to Yoyogi Park, there'd be plenty of places to hide so I could spend the night there. I couldn't help but wonder what was behind me. I didn't see any signs of Yua. However, I wouldn't be surprised if she appeared in front of me any second now. Complete with the most terrifying demonic expression I'd ever encountered. My instinct screamed at me. Run. You need to run! Oh, wow. Where is he here? There's like a homeless guy. What is this guy saying? The Great King of Terror has something this city. Oh, wow. And he's wearing a gas mask. Dang. Exhausted. I weakly sat down on the pavement of the Miyashita Park overpass. I'd run way too much. My throat was dying. I wanted to drink a nice ice-cold Coke. But I didn't see any vending machines nearby. Maybe I was okay now that I'd come this far. No, I couldn't be careless. I still had to be fully aware of my surroundings. There should only be a few people in Miyashita Park at night. Or at least that was what I'd expected. But much to my surprise, that wasn't the case. There was a businessman walking briskly through the park, likely using it as a shortcut. An older man sitting on a bench messing with his cell phone. Several homeless people sitting around absent-mindedly, and lastly a person wearing blue talking to one of them, a police officer. The police. I gulped audibly. I remembered that I'd been questioned by a pair of detectives a while ago. I hadn't heard a single thing from them since then. They said they were going to guard the area surrounding my base, but there was no sign of following them through on it. Although, according to Misumi-kun, they'd apparently come to investigate Suine. Those two detectives. What were their names again? I couldn't remember. I told both of them the truth about what I witnessed and seen in crucifixion, but in hindsight I couldn't help but think they've been looking at me with suspicion as I did. I think I'll do a red one here and see what... Right as I thought that, the policeman who'd been talking to the homeless man glanced at me. Or at least that was how it felt. Oh no. Terrifying thoughts ran through my head. I sat up and looked around the park once again. The man who'd been sitting on a bench while staring at his cell phone was taking quick glances at me. Or at least that's what it felt like. Right then, a man with a stern face entered the park and sat down on the pipish fence, opened a newspaper, and started reading. In a dark place with next to no streetlights. A man, seemingly a businessman, but walking quickly through the park, was now standing at the edge of the overpass, gazing down at the street below. The policeman who'd been talking to the homeless man was now looking at me while contacting someone on his police radio. Cold sweat crept down my back. No. Weren't these guys cops? Maybe they were tailing me. If that was true, I was completely surrounded. Yua had already made up her mind, decided that was a murder. And then, based on her delusion, she'd probably gone and reported it to the police. You're kidding. I couldn't help but mutter that out loud, albeit at a volume low enough so that no one could hear me. Was this another part of Shogun's evil plan? I didn't do it. I didn't kill anyone. I'm not the murderer. Why should I, a coward who couldn't talk to people or shit, be treated like a murderer and then subsequently chased by the police? Why did I have to get caught up in Yua's insane delusional bullshit? Regardless, I couldn't stay here. My chest still hadn't stopped pounding, and it hurt to breathe, but I still had to get out of here. I made my way over to the overpass, trying my best to look as natural as possible. Right in front of me was a staircase leading down to Meijidori. I'd go down it, and then I'd escape using the road. As I reached the middle of the overpass, a new figure appeared on the stairs. It was a woman, and judging from the suit, an office worker. She was holding a cell phone to her ear and talking with a blank expression on her face as she walked up the stairs. Could she be a detective too? I passed by her, my heart pounding the entire time. Oh no! Whose eyes are those eyes? Yeah, shirts with that phrase in them are going crazy right now. That's insane. Why would you want to buy serial killer merchandise? I'm gonna go buy one this Sunday. They sell them on Takashita Dori, which is located in Harajuku. I felt really uncomfortable. Her speaking style was really awkward. It felt strangely theatrical. Really? Who the hell was she talking to anyway? Who was on the other end of the phone? Was she even talking to anyone at all? But in the end, the woman took no action against me. I finally made it to the stairs, and it was with relative ease. Upon reaching them, I looked back towards the park. The cop wasn't following me. He was standing in the same place as before, still talking into his police radio. One of the homeless people who had been sitting on the ground was starting to get up, but none of the other homeless people were moving. But then, before I knew it, the man on the bench and the man reading newspaper got up and started walking towards me. The two men then glared at each other. They were exchanging looks, or at least it seemed like it. I then turned my gaze to the office worker once again. She had passed me a few moments ago, but now she turned her head to look at me. The second our eyes met, she turned back away with a start. Her cell phone was still held up to her ear, but she wasn't speaking anymore. I was hit with an amount of fear I had never experienced before, and I immediately bolted down the stairs. As I ran down Meiji Dori towards the station, I looked up at the overpass. The office worker was leaning over the railing and pointing at me. Uh-oh. And it wasn't just her. 2 men were sprinting across the overpass. They really were cops. All of them were cops. Shit, shit, shit! This was all Yua's fault. She had me set up. Should I just tell them I was innocent? But even if I did, I couldn't get away from the fact that I was literally running away from the police right now. Besides, I was sure that the police would find some way to pin it on me regardless. They would never believe an otaku freak like me. I didn't have time to think about what would happen next. For now, I just needed to get away from Yua and the police. That was the sole thought occupying my mind. I passed under a pedestrian overpass and ran up the stairs leading to it. Oh, the music is getting even creepier. This is reminding me of Higurashi right now. There were people everywhere. All of them were blocking my path. It felt as if each and every one of them were deliberately getting in my way, like they all had some form of malicious intent. Everyone looked like they could be cops. I was this close to completely panicking. I looked behind me and saw someone sprinting after me. Uh-oh. I caught a glimpse of a person cutting through the crowd just like I was. It was one of the people that I'd seen in the park. I should know who it was. It didn't matter. They were following me regardless. I was horrified. If I got caught, my life would be over. I would be falsely accused of a crime I didn't commit, sentenced to death, locked up in a high-security prison for decades and decades. And then after I finished enduring that living hell, I would finally be told, "Alrighty then, your number's up. Time for you to die." I didn't want that. I wouldn't be able to handle that. I didn't want to live like that. Even if I somehow managed to prove it was a false accusation, once I was branded as a criminal, it would never go away. Everyone around me would look at me suspiciously for the rest of my life. I didn't want that. I hadn't even done anything. Oh, wow, he's going to the concert venue. I turned onto a small street that was completely deserted. Kept running as hard as I could. But I had been running ever since I left that cafe. Still hadn't been able to catch my breath. My lungs were begging for oxygen. My legs were shaking with fatigue. I hated myself for not exercising more, but it was too late for that regardless. Finally, I couldn't run anymore, so I doubled over and gripped my knees with my hands. The place where it stopped looked familiar. Distinctive red brick walls painted with their gigantic backlit sign, the Red Gigantes. I could barely read that. Dang. I'd been here before, with Masumi-kun. We come to see a Phantasm concert. Or to be more specific, see their lead singer Fast. But now the place was quiet and empty. with the only other light being from the vending machine dimly illuminating my surroundings. Frustrated that my breathing still hadn't gone back to normal, I looked back towards the road I had sprinted down. The street was dimly lit and narrow. As the Tokyo. I'm guessing that's a typo? As the Tokyo line train slowly passed directly above me, despite the striking glow of the light leaking from the windows of the train, even it didn't reach the streets below. I stared at the road in front of me. I wondered if I ever managed to lose them, them being Yua and the police. It was too dark for me to tell for sure. Oh, who's that? Oh, is this fast? No, it's... Come with me. Ah! Suddenly I heard a woman's voice in my ear and left out a pathetic scream before toppling the ground. Oh, yeah, she's in full rocker outfit. It is fast. It was fast, dressed in a flashy outfit that she would wear at a concert. As she quietly looked down at me from the darkness, the eruptive energy that she'd given off while she was on the stage was now completely absent, making her almost appear transient, like she might disappear at any moment. Oh, Toyoko is a real line? Oh, it sounded like a typo of Tokyo. Okay. Between Tokyo and Yokohama. I get it. That's funny. That's funny. It just sounds fake, even though it's real. Interesting. Because of that darkness, I couldn't see her expression. As my mind wandered in surprise, Vess gently held out her hand to me. Stand up. Quickly. Her tone of voice was dispassionate. But I could tell that she wasn't going to let me argue with her. Still holding on to her hand, Vess slowly craned her neck, then narrowed her eyes as if she'd seen through the darkness. We need to run. Why? Did she know I'd been running from Yua and the police? Hello, Emmy, and welcome to the stream. I was freaked out for a second, but I knew that right now salvation was almost within my grasp. That was why, as if I was clinging on to my only hope left, I took her hand. Her hand was cold to the touch. Right as I stood up, Vess started running. As I was already utterly exhausted, I felt incredible resentment, but I knew that if it hadn't been for Vess, I would have never been able to stand up again, and the police would have lightly caught up with me. I still wanted to quench my dying thirst in some way, but I knew I couldn't afford to. Vess pulled me by the hand and led us forward. We entered a narrow alleyway and made turn after turn at various intersections. I had no idea where I was running to. I wasn't even familiar with the layout of Shibuya, so no choice but to follow Vess the entire time. I nearly entertained the idea that this could be another trap set by Shogun. I shook that thought from my head. Not everything could be connected to Shogun. Even if Vess was another one of Shogun's underlings, there would be nothing I could do about it. My legs were heavy with lactic acid, and I was starting to feel lightheaded, probably because my brain hadn't been getting enough oxygen due to all the running. I was this close to crying out and saying I couldn't run anymore. In fact, I may or may not have said it several times unconsciously. But even so, Vess never once looked back at me. She just kept on going, before I knew it, I found myself on a road where the Shudo Expressway ran overhead. Shibuya Station was only a little bit further away, but there were barely any people around. Without a shred of hesitation, Fess started to head down the stairs that led to the gaping maw of the underground. Ooh, subway at night. Upon reaching the bottom of the stairs, she finally came to a stop. I let go of Fess's hand and doubled over on the stairs, gasping for breath. I wondered how much running I had done today. I didn't think I'd exercised so much in even my entire life. For a while, the only sounds present in the dim, dreary underground tunnel were the sounds of me and Fess breathing. I looked up at the entrance where we had just come down from, but there was no sign of our pursuers. I guess that meant we'd managed to escape somehow. That aside, this is my first time learning that this underground passage even existed. Oh, it's a secret passage. On top of that, even though it was fairly close to the station, there wasn't a single person passing through it. One of the fluorescent lights that illuminated the tunnel was on its last legs, flickering on and off without end. There was a faint smell of rotting garbage in the air. It was a place that symbolized the underground side of Shibuya. If someone were to attack me here, even if I screamed as loud as I could, it may not even reach the outside. This was not a place I would ever want to come alone to. Still breathing heavily, I slowly examined Fess's profile. The thing is, I want to do the delusions, but I also don't, because I'm afraid I'm going to miss out on real information that the characters say. Slowly examined Fess's profile. She was a charismatic songstress who captivated the youth of Shibuya. People even called her a prophet. I think Fess is coolio, so I really dig her. I think she's super duper cute, so I am going to do that. Alright, I'll try a green. And now that very same Fess was here alone with an otaku freak piece of shit like me. I wasn't sure what to make of it. Her forehead was beading with sweat, with several drops running down her cheeks. She was wiping it off with the back of her hand. Oh god. Her breast, exposed to her camisole, rose and fell with every breath she took. A glimpse providing healthy eroticism and atmosphere flowing with ennui. Moe didn't do it justice. The best and only possible word befitting of her was erotic. She is so badass. Oh my god. She definitely looks like she's kissed a girl or two in her life, and that, I don't know, makes me kind of excited. That camisole with its cross-shaped design was downright criminal. And I couldn't help but think that it didn't look like she was wearing a bra underneath. I mean, no offense, but I don't think she really needs to. Maybe she really wasn't wearing a bra. That would be very interesting, I think. What kind of underwear did Fess usually wear, I wondered. Oh yeah, that's right, I think she can read minds, can't she? I wonder if she's gonna answer that. Probably the sexy kind like black or red. I personally had wanted to be nice, clean white. Really, that's boring. Wait, what kind of stupid shit was I thinking about? Did I forget the situation I was in?
追われてたわね。
You were being pursued, were you not?
え、うん。
Yeah.
警察。
By the police? I nodded in response. Her VA even did a concert and cosplay of her? That's insane. Oh, wow. It wasn't just the police. Yua was following me too, but I was too exhausted to tell her that.
私も同じ。
I'm the same. God, I dig this. This is kind of cool if this leads to a romance. I dig this. This is a super coolio premise right here. Huh? What was even that supposed to mean?
私が書いた歌詞となんとかって呼ばれてる事件との関係について。
That's true. They asked me if there was a connection between the lyrics I wrote and some incident I can't recall the name of.
しつこく聞かれたわ。
They were very insistent. New Gen. The lyrics that Fess had written matched up with the string of incidents, so I noticed even though I pressed the delusion button, we didn't get the swoop of delusion space. Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. I wonder what that signifies. That was why all her sheep wouldn't shut up with all those rumors. They've been saying that she was a prophet.
私、疑われてるみたい。
It seems that they suspect me. As the new gen criminal? I thought the same thing back when I first heard her lyrics. Hell, I'd even thought that Fess herself was Shogun. But considering the fact that she saved me, she probably wasn't. Putting all that aside, I wondered why Fess was even there. Her saving me must have just been a coincidence. Yeah, it had to be. I mean, I'd been right in front of the concert venue, so that was probably just another concert today.
君が追われてるのはなぜ？
You were being pursued as well. Why?
何か悪いことでもしたの？
Did you do something wrong? No? Damn it, because that would have been hot. I mean, yes.
チクられた。
She told the police. Huh?
あの女、僕のことチクったんだ。
That girl, she told the police that I'm...
ニュージェネの犯人にされる。
She's making me out to be the new gen criminal. You was trying to set me up. God damn it! Shogun and that girl were gonna ruin my life.
そう、
I see.
容疑者候補ね。私たち。
So we're both potential suspects then. Why was she laughing?
僕は無実だ。
I'm innocent! I yelled out frantically. My voice reverberated loudly throughout the underpass, but I couldn't stop now.
事件を目撃しただけだ。証拠品を勝手に持ち帰っちゃったけど、それだけ。
I was just a witness. I just took some evidence back home with me without thinking. That's all.
僕殺してない。
I didn't kill anyone.
それなら
Then, Bess whispered, returning to her original dispassionate voice.
きっとそれは導きなのよ。
It must be the guidance. The guidance? What's that?
大いなる存在により。
Of a higher power. What? Another fucking mental case! Another goddamn shitty view!
君の見たものが事実だったか幻だったかは些細なこと。
Whether or not what you saw was real or an illusion is inconsequential. Man, I would not normally say this, and I definitely don't suggest it in real life, but I really want to see what happens if Takumi ever tried drugs. That horrible scene. I don't know. I feel like a cool scene would be if Takumi lit one up with her. I think that would be a really interesting scene. Was there any possibility that it had all just been an illusion? That it all felt so real?
君が今抱いている苦しみや怒りは
The pain and anger that you're harboring now.
必要なものだったということよ。
It is all necessary. Uh-oh. What was she saying? I was utterly dejected. I've been slightly suspicious back at the concert, and I turned out to be right. Fess really was a total... Oh, come on. Don't say it like that. It's so freak. There's a fine line between genius and insanity, but this is pushing it.
だから早く見つけて。
That is why you must find it. Quickly.
剣を見つけて。
Find your sword. I know, right, Nagitona? I know. Well, Ji-chan got me a Burn Castle and Lambda Delta Fumos, which are pretty great. She got me those ages ago. Find your sword. I was taken aback. That was what Fess had told me back when we'd met at school. If you do, you'll be granted salvation. She said this before. Aside from the police, what scared me the most was Shogun and his underlings. Is she gonna be like his master? Is she gonna train him? I had no idea why, but they were all trying to trap me, and they all clearly had malicious intent. In order to save myself from them. Because it was ages ago, Olga. In order to protect myself, I needed...
Disorder.
D-sword.
そうよ。
Yes. Is she gonna train him? Fess's lips twisted into the shape of a smile.
勉強したみたいね。
You've been studying, it seems. Dang. Now I really love the idea. Wow. Takumi really has nice chemistry with all these girls, I swear. Or at the very least, her, Rimi, and Yua. If that's what you mean, then I already got one.
僕はディソードを持ってる。
Exactly, Seiya. Teach me how to reach Bankai Fest. I have a D-sword. What? They're not torn up, Boyd.
今家に。
It's on my house.
知ってるわ。
I know. How the fuck do you know? She knew. How did she know?
見たから。
I saw.
君が渋谷のど真ん中歩いていたの。
You were walking directly in the middle of Shibuya.
大きなおもちゃを抱きしめて恥ずかしそうにしてたわね。
Oh, she saw him that day when he was walking. You were gripping a large toy, and you looked fairly embarrassed. Was she talking about the day I'd bought the D-sword? Fess has seen me fuck my life. Wait a minute. What did she just said?
おもちゃ
A toy. The smile at her disappeared from Fess's face. She glanced at my face and let out a small sigh. Her sense of ennui, her aloofness was so pure it made me feel uneasy. She seems like someone awesome to hang out with. The sword you bought.
あなたの買った剣
She's way too cool for me, though. Is a fake. Damn it! He probably has to summon it. He probably has to fucking, like, summon it from within himself. Come on, Yoruichi! Train me to freaking summon my Bankai. I wasn't even that surprised. I'd expected it, honestly. Oh, well, that's $50 down the drain. I mean, you can give me stuff if you want, Void. The sword I bought was way too cheap compared to the one Senna had. It didn't even glow. Besides, the idea that a sword would supposedly bring me salvation was being sold for 10,000 yen alongside sex toys with the least anime thing possible. So yeah, I wasn't surprised. Instead, I felt a furious surge of anger well up inside me. Anger at the gloomy shopkeeper who tricked me. He got scammed. Anger at myself for being so pathetic that I'd been tricked that easily. Anger at Fess for saying nothing meaningful in the slightest instead of just giving me a straight answer.
じゃあ
Fine. I stood up and moved closer to Fess. Normally, I would have never done something like that, but I was desperate. I've been being chased by Yua and the police only a few moments ago, and I was absolutely terrified. I want to see you two go drinking together, or like light one up together. That just seems like it would be a really cool scene. Not only that, but in the past month or so, I've experienced countless bad thoughts. It was all too much for me. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to get my hands on a sword so I could get back to my peaceful way of life.
教えてよ
Tell me!
理想のどうやって手に入れるのか
How do I get my hands on a D-sword? Fess's expression stiffened, and then she turned to me.
見て
Watch. Ooh, she's gonna summon it! Come on, summon! She suddenly thrust the palm of her right hand out in front of me. You want to see anime, boy? This is anime. Stopping me from coming any closer, Fess curled her right hand into a fist. Upon swinging her hand behind her in a motion resembling a back fist, together with sound akin to that of glass breaking, the empty space cracked, and then it shattered. My eyes went wide. I was speechless. Fess stared at me, her expression not changed to the slightest. Within the cracks of the shattered space was a deep darkness spreading wide. With a hand buried between the fissures, Fess pulled her hand back towards her with a tremendous force. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the fucking magic. And now within that hand was a giant sword.
ソード
A G-sword. The fissures in empty space were repaired in an instant. The cracks disappeared as if nothing had even happened. If I were him, I would be going like, oh my god, anime is real! And it all happened in the span of a few seconds. Had that been a magic trick? Or was I seeing just a delusion? It was far too removed from reality. I couldn't believe what just happened right in front of me. It was a fantasy anime.
この剣は命運を握るもの。
This sword is that which bends fate to its will. That sword. It was the same one she'd been wielding at the concert. Same one I'd mistaken for a microphone stand. Its shape almost looked like a battleship ripped straight from a sci-fi anime.
この剣は嘆きを収束させたもの。
This sword is that which converges all sorrows. There were no straight lines to be found on it. And yet it appeared incredibly sharp. Incredibly beautiful. Incredibly sinister.
この剣は超越した場所に干渉するためのもの。
This sword is that which interferes with the transcendental place. And that if you so much as touched it, your fingers would be severed from the bone.
超越した場所って
Wait, what do you mean, transcendental place? I was mesmerized. Her D-sword utterly captivated me. Oh god, her D-sword is so fucking huge. Which is why I'd asked her this without thinking.
異空間のようなもの。
It is akin to another space. Oh boy, info dump time. This was this was definitely an anime at this point.
同一次元上にあるもう一つの可能性。
Another possibility. Oh, another possibility within the same dimension.
あるいは妄想。
Or perhaps a delusion. A delusion.
言い方にあんまり意味はないわ。
Stating it that way does not provide much in the way of meaning.
唯一確かな
The sole thing we can know for certain, however,
この剣もその領域に存在しているということ。
is that this sword exists within that region. So, in other words, she was saying that her D-sword was a product of her delusions? Does that mean the supernatural phenomena I've seen before had also been delusions? Had they not been real?
そんなのありえない。
That's impossible.
そう。
Oh. If it was a delusion, then why was I seeing Fess's sword right
言
now?
葉に引きずられてはダメよ。
Do not be led astray by words.
後ろを振り返ってみて。
Try turning around. Uh-oh. I was baffled by Fess's request, but I complied anyway. Behind me was a flight of stairs, and on those stairs... She was naked? What? Was Fess wearing only white lingerie?
はえ
What the fuck? Fess was standing right beside me. Fess was standing on the stairs right in front of me. Two of the same person in the same place. And not only that, but one of them was incredibly sexy, wearing only her underwear. Completely and utterly flustered, I relentlessly slapped back between the two Fesses over and over again, comparing them. They were exactly the same, right down to the facial features, height, and hairstyles. Only differences were the clothes and whether or not they were carrying a sword. They weren't twins or anything like that, and they didn't just look alike. Hello, Mirage. The choice a while back affects her clothes here? Oh my god. Oh, and not. They were one and the same. I was used to seeing girls in their underwear in NoaH, but here I couldn't handle it for some reason. I've run into Nanami's smelly, piss-stained underwear countless times. I think this would be no big deal, but for whatever reason I couldn't get myself to follow that line of logic. Fess was standing in the middle of a disgusting underpass and only in her underwear. I felt like I was about to lose my mind from how unbelievable that situation was. Even though I knew I shouldn't look at her, I couldn't help but feel like I was this close to stealing a glance anyway. It took an insane amount of willpower to keep my eyes down. I'm sorry. I automatically apologized. Because I knew that only a few minutes ago, I had a delusion about this very thing. Fess wearing white lingerie. She can read his mind. This is the delusion you wished for. The two Fesses said this at the same time, as if they could see right through me. I jumped, startled. I could feel my face rapidly turning red. I needed an excuse, a way out of this. If 3D girl labeled me as a pervert, it'd be over. I'd be socially obliterated. Okay. While that may be important, the more pressing matter is what the hell is happening? Wait, was that a no, it's a scene change. Okay. God damn it, no! I don't want to miss the explanation! As he walked cautiously through the narrow, trash-ridden streets of Mario Macho, Ben Yasuji jammed one hand inside his pants pocket. Inside, he found a few dozen small coins.
Sir, what exactly are you expecting to find at the crucifixion crime scene? It's already been more than 2 weeks since it happened. Don't you think it's been investigated well enough? With all due respect, new evidence isn't just gonna pop out of thin air.
His partner, Detective Sua, had been walking behind him, grousing in an irritated voice for quite some time. That was understandable, of course, as the job originally assigned to them had been to tail important witness for the new Jin case, Nishijiro Takumi. However, the two of them had abandoned their tailing mission, instead come to the scene of the third new Jin incident, colloquially known as crucifixion. Ben had decided to abandon their original task of tailing Nishijiro Takumi, forcing the burden onto some other detective in the same jurisdiction. The rookie detective, Sua, was not pleased by this.
Come on, there's no way this will pan out. We'll just go back to tailing already.
The rookie detective had consistently been pushed around by his senior without any explanation, and he could not stand it. For that reason, he had been insistently trying to persuade Bond for a long time now. But to this, Bond only said,
Oh, quit your yapping and follow me.
He remained aloof and refused to heed his junior's perfectly sound arguments. Finally, they at last came across a narrow road, blocked off by yellow barricade tape. A Sua let out the latest in his myriad of sighs. His cell phone began vibrating near his chest. He quickly took out his phone, which has been set to vibrate, assumed the look of a capable detective, and pressed the accept button.
Sua here.
Hi.
Yep.
Hi.
Yes.
As he listened to Sua's voice coming from behind him, Bond came to a stop in front of the barricade tape. Behind that tape was the crime scene. A deep darkness had settled over the area, just as it had when the crime had been committed. But now there were no remaining traces of the incident, save for the barricade tape.
You lost him? A girl. Looks like the goddess.
What are you talking about? So they were actually following him.
Alright, then go ahead and head back to his house in Shinsen. Yes, make sure to keep your eyes peeled. No, don't worry. Assistant Inspector Bond will take all the flack for you.
Bond smiled wryly upon hearing that. Sua could be surprisingly shrewd. Of course, Bond had no intention of placing the blame onto his subordinates, nor onto the detective he had placed in charge.
We'll join up with you as soon as we're done here. Really sorry about all this. Good luck.
Right as Sua hung up the phone and returned to his begrudging great gaze to Bond. Bond ducked under the tape. Sua had no choice but to reluctantly accompany him.
They lost him, eh?
Oh wow, that one actually worked out.
He figured out he was being tailed. Seemed like there'd been some commotion at an internet cafe before that. And the girl?
They saw Ayase?
Kishimoto Ayase.
Dang. Oh, I kind of really love the premise of Ayase, like, introducing, like, him to her lifestyle, like him living in the concert venue and stuff with his computer. Dang. No, that sounds like a really cool premise. I hope that's the kind of thing that happens.
Oh, the little lady from the band that's been causing total loads of trouble. What's the connection between them? They both go to the same school. Same year, even. Other than that, nothing in particular. Not even classmates.
Bond brought a hand to his chin, savoring the rough texture of his stubble for a moment. I have not heard any songs so far, Void. Afterwards, he took out several coins from his pocket and started counting them in the dark one by one. Something written in German over here, I don't know. Sua stared at his eccentric senior with a puzzled look on his face.
What are you up to? Of course I can't find a 5-yen coin when I actually need one. Sua, you have a 5-yen coin on you? Huh.
Perplexed, Sue took a 5 yen coin out from his wallet and handed it out to Ben. However, instead of taking it straight away, Ben toward the bottom button off the shirt he was wearing. Well, I really appreciate your concern, Void Dweller. He then untied the thread fastened to the button.
先輩、ついに頭おかしくなったんすか?
Sir, have you finally lost it?
生意気な口聞くようになったじゃねえか。
You've got a real mouth on you, you know that?
Ban chuckled and lightly whapped Sue on the head. He then took the thread and weaved it through the hole in the center of the coin. Oh, it's one of those Chinese-style coins.
よし、お前にやらせてやるよ。
Wow, he looks exactly like Gumshoe from this angle.
Alrighty, I'll let you do the honors.
After pinching both ends of the thread with his fingers, Ban left the 5 yen coin hang down and handed it to his junior.
フリッポースか?
The pendulum?
あ
Huh?
Ban smiled mischievously.
こいつが事件の重要なヒントを与えてくれるかもしれない。
This little guy might give us an important clue for this case of ours.
マジっすか?
You're kidding.
バンさん、勘弁してほしいっすよ。
Donson, could you spare me from your craziness for once?
そのために仕事をほっぽってここまで来たんすか?
Is this why you abandoned your assignment to come here?
Sue's tone was almost mournful. He'd been pushed around countless times by Ban before now. But this time, Ban had finally managed to utterly stump the rookie detective.
サイキック操作とかダウジングとか?
Is this some kind of psychic investigation, like dowsing or something?
その手のテレビでも見て影響を受けたんすね、先輩。
You've really been watching too much TV, sir.
Oh, that is super interesting, Nakitona. So this was an added CG for this edition.
You've really been watching too much TV, sir.
そういうお前も詳しいじゃね
I did not turn the BGM off.
For the guy getting on my case, you just sure seem well affiliated with this stuff.
いやー、まあ自分も見たは見たっすよ。先週のユーリ・ブライトマン。
Well, yeah, I checked out a few shows like that. Last week there was one centered on Yuri Brightman.
え。
Yuri Bright.
ユーリ・ブライトマンっすよ。今話題になってるアメリカの超能力捜査官っす。
Yuri Brightman, he's this psychic detective from America.
俺が見たのはそんなチャラチャラしたもんじゃねえや。
What I saw wasn't anything all that flashy.
どこかのお偉い大学教授が出てるよな。
But the program did have some esteemed college professor on it.
でもテレビっすよね。
But it was still on TV, yeah?
文句の多いやつだ。
あ
You really like to pick apart every little thing, don't you?
やってみりゃわかる。ほら、いいから潰してみろって。
You'll get it once you give it a shot. Come on, let it hang down.
When his senior issued that request, Sue did not have any room to refuse. His lips pursed in a sullen manner, but he reluctantly accepted the 5-yen coin. His lips pursed in a sullen manner, but he reluctantly. Oh, he pinched the ends of the string and began to twirl it around in a circle, creating centrifugal motion.
It was too dark for either.
It was too dark for them to see it clearly. So Bond flicked out a 100-yen cigarette lighter and used it as their light source.
先輩ってタバコ吸いましたっけ？
You smoke, sir?
10年以上前に封印したよ。なんでだよ。
I quit smoking over 10 years ago. Why'd you ask?
ライター持ってたっけ？
Well, you got a lighter on you, so I just figured.
こういうこともあろうかと用意してたんだよ。
I was just prepared. That's all.
はは。で、これで何がわかるんす？
Oh, right then. So what am I missing here?
もっといろいろ動かしたり止めたりしてみろ。
Try moving around a bit more and then try to stop it.
Bond monitored the movement of the 5-yen coin intently. Bond's eyes were so intensely serious, Sue could no longer complain about this being a pointless excursion.
やっぱり。
Huh, just as I thought.
ふわ、わかるか？
Oh, that was him, sorry.
You get it now, Suwa?
何がっす？
Get what?
五円玉の動きだ。
Movement of the coin.
さっきから少しだけ楕円を描いてるような気がしね。
Doesn't it feel like it's been forming an eclipse?
Oh, wow, that's a kind of cool effect. Using the thread as support, the dangling 5-yen coin was slowly revolving around in circular motion. Sue cocked his head.
力の入れ方とかじゃないんすかね？
It's not just a joke because how I'm swinging it or something.
お前、楕円に回るように意識してやってんのか？
Are you trying to make an eclipse?
いや、結構適当にくるくると。
Are you trying to make an eclipse? Well, no, I just kind of made it go around.
もっと手を動かさねえようにやってんだ。
Try not to move your hand as much.
はあ。
Okay.
Sue consciously tried to move his hand in circular fashion, but no matter how hard he tried, the trajectory drawn by the 5-yen coin was almost always elliptical in shape.
おかしいな。
This is really weird.
意識的に違う形にしようとしてもできねえだろ。
Even if you try to force it to make different shapes, it won't let you, right?
Ben's face was full of pride. Suwa, on the other hand, was still not convinced and continued relentlessly in his quest to try and change the motion of the pendulum.
まあ渋谷のどこでもこの現象が見られるわけじゃねえが
Well, it's not that like this phenomenon can be witnessed just anywhere in Shibuya.
それでも十数箇所はここみてえな場所があるらしいぜ
Even so, I heard there are about a dozen places where the same thing happens.
確かに不思議っすね。
Huh, this really is pretty out there.
でもだから何なんす？
What does this have to do with the case?
Bond looked up in satisfaction, put his lighter back in his pocket, then retrieved the hand faster so he had stabilized between his belt and his pants.
お前渋谷がなんでここまで若者を引きつけるか知ってるか
Do you know why Shibuya attracts so many youngins to it?
五円玉が楕円を描くからっすか？
What? What? Because this 5 yen coin's more than a ellipse?
Stewart thought he was making a clever jab, but Bond nodded readily in response, calmly fanning his face all the while.
まあそういうことだ
Yep, you got it.
Ooh. They can tell reality has been fucked with.
という場所は若者たちをこんなに
おう
もつけると思う。
Why do you think that Shibuya attracts so many youth? Suddenly, the conversation I was having with Fest transitioned into something completely unrelated. But I was actually somewhat relieved by that. I expected Fest to start treating me like a pervert, but she just ignored it, as if nothing ever happened.
日本、いいえ、世界を見渡してみて、こんな場所他になかなかないわ。
Japan. No, even if you examine the entire world, you would not find many places similar to this one. Alright, again with the ellipse thing. Does this have something to do with G-swords? If not, that I didn't care. I had to somehow find a way to get Fest to tell me how to get my hands on a real G-sword. You just saw, man, you gotta materialize.
新宿でも池袋でもなくて、
Neither Shinjuku nor Ikebukuro.
渋谷、
Shibuya.
この街の名前は一人歩きしてしまうくらい。
The name of this city has taken on a life of its own. Both in front of and behind me. Same words were being spoken from the two faces at the exact same time. Perfect synchronization. It gave me a somewhat strange feeling. Really, already perfect. Had Fest split in half? Were both of them the real Fest? Or both of them imposters?
日本中の人たちに刻まれているよ。若者の街という記号。
There's a thought engraved in the hearts of all men across Japan that this city carries the name, the City of Youth.
なぜかしら。
Why is that? Well, that had absolutely nothing to do with me.
ファッションの街だから。
Because the city is ripe with fashion, you could make a video game out of that.
お店がたくさんあるから。
Because it is populated heavily with stores.
流行の発信者から。
Because many trends originate here.
よくテレビに映るから。
Because it appears often on TV.
個 通の便がいいから。
Because the public transportation is favorable?
違うわ、ドリ。
No, it is none of those. The two fesses pause for a moment, being watched from both in front and from behind. Started to make me feel uneasy. Understandable, I mean. Sorry, I didn't see that part.
大いな意志よ。
It is because of the greater will. We're going Elden Ring on this? Oh my god.
高次存在。もっとわかりやすく言えば、神の意志なの。
The will of a higher being. Or to put it simply, the will of God. Seriously, yeah, like, is Takumi in the Reaper's game? Like, seriously. This is bad. My rational side warned me. Could this be? Maybe she was trying to recruit me to some sketchy religious cult? I begin to feel uneasy. No, Takumi. Man, maybe I should just get the heck out of here. But upon hearing the next thing Fess said to me, I realized I no longer had that option. Yes, it's Elden Ring. We're doing Elden Ring with the greater will. When is that DLC gonna have a fucking trailer?
理想だもの。その意志による導きよ。
D swords, too, are guided by this will. Okay, you guys.
あるだろ
I think this is a good place to save for now, before I get really too tired. Wow, we're learning so much. Oh my god, I love the character. I'm so happy we're having more with Fess. I really love Fess. I really love Ayase. She is so fucking cool. And I really want to see her interact with Takumi more. Oh my god, thank you guys so much for joining me today. We'll do some more next time. On, I believe, Tuesday? Until then, I will say, so long, farewell, have we to sing goodnight. You're all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.